You know that feeling. It's Friday night, the week is finally over, and you feel this deep, satisfying sigh of relief because your only plan is, well, no plans at all. If that sounds like you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to get into the psychology of people who genuinely love their time at home. And it's about so much more than just being a homebody. It really tells us a lot about our own minds and maybe most importantly, our energy. So let's kick things off with what I like to call the Great Weekend Divide. Seriously, it's like when 5 o'clock hits on a Friday, the entire world just splits into two totally different camps. It all comes down to how you react to that first taste of freedom. And this slide just nails that split, doesn't it? For one person, Friday's like a starting gun firing. Their bags are packed, they've got a full schedule of plans. But for the other person, it's the finish line. It's that deep breath, that sigh of relief, and the sweet, sweet promise of just retreating into their own personal space.
All right, let's get real and tackle the big elephant in the room. If you're someone who prefers your own four walls over, say, a crowded bar, you've probably had a few labels thrown your way. So let's break down some of those common judgments.
Yes, this one, the classic. You're so boring. It's so simple, but it kind of cuts deep, right? It automatically equates a love for quiet time with having a total lack of personality. But is that really what's happening here? And then you've got this question. Now, a lot of the time, people mean well when they ask it. But if you listen closely, there's a subtext, isn't there? It implies that staying home is some kind of flaw, a problem that needs to be fixed, like you need to be coaxed out into the real world. But is that actually the real story? Is it really about being boring or antisocial? Well, it turns out there's something much deeper, and honestly, way more interesting, going on right beneath the surface.
Okay, so if it's not about being lazy, then what is it? What we're learning is that the real reason has pretty much nothing to do with a lack of motivation. It has everything to do with managing a very limited resource, our social battery.
And this is the key idea right here, being mentally tired. Just think about your day-to-day life for a second. We go out into the world and we perform. We put on a smile when we don't feel like it, we try to navigate all these complicated social cues, and we soak up the moods of everyone around us. That is exhausting work. And this is what's so cool. It completely reframes what home is. It's not a prison. It's a sanctuary. It becomes this safe zone where you can finally stop performing. There are no judgments, no expectations. For people who are deep thinkers or who just need some peace, it is the one place they can actually recharge their batteries without feeling that constant pressure to pretend.
Okay, but it's not always quite that simple. And here's where we have to be really honest with ourselves. There's a very fine but very crucial line between healthy recharging and, well, unhealthy avoidance. It really all comes down to why we're staying in. And this, right here, might be the single most important question you can ask yourself. Are you choosing your home as a place of comfort, as a way to reconnect with who you are, or are you using it as a place to hide from the world? This table just lays it out so clearly. Is your home a healthy, safe zone for self-care? Or has it become a danger sign, a tool you use to avoid problems? So for example, choosing to stay home to read a great book instead of going to a party you're just not feeling, that's comfort. But say canceling plans with a good friend because you're dreading a tough conversation, that might be a sign you're using home to escape, not just to recharge. Okay, now let's completely flip the script on this. Because it turns out, far from being a flaw, this preference for staying home often comes with a really unique set of hidden strengths. So the big takeaway here is that these people aren't antisocial at all. They're selectively social. Because they're so careful with their energy, they tend to be deeply loyal and incredibly sincere in the relationships they choose to invest in. They're often very emotionally intelligent. They know exactly where their energy is best spent. And at their core, they're just authentic. They stay home sometimes because they're afraid that in a loud crowd, they might lose touch with who they really are. Which brings us right back around to this one final, really powerful thought. It all boils down to this single question. Understanding whether you're seeking peace or just avoiding life, that's the key to a happy, balanced life. It's not about changing who you are, it's about understanding why you are who you are. So, what's your reason?